Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something that maybe doesn't sound super exciting at first glance, but honestly, it's fundamental.
Right.
It's about keeping all of an organization's digital and physical stuff safe.
Hmm.
We're talking hardware, software, data, the whole life cycle.
Exactly. It's like, think about managing a fleet of company cars. You wouldn't just buy a load of them and, cross your fingers.
That's definitely not.
You'd track who has which car, schedule the oil changes, figure out when it's time to sell them off. Our fleet here is all the tech and data, managing its life cycle securely. Just as vital. We'll break down why it matters and the key steps involved.
You got it. And look, we know you're busy. You need the essentials on this without drowning in tech speak. So our mission today is pretty straightforward. Pull out the most important bits about secure asset management. Get you feeling up to speed, maybe even like you've got a new security insight. We're diving into security operations, specifically handling all those digital bits and pieces. So where does this whole journey even kick off?
Well, it really starts with figuring out what the organization actually needs. What hardware, what software, what data assets are required to, get the job done.
Right. It's not just about chasing the latest shiny gadget.
Not at all. And crucially, it's also about compatibility. Does this new thing actually work with what you already have?
Yeah. Like getting a new app that crashes your phone?
Yeah.
Not ideal. So this first step, what are we calling it?
This is the acquisition and procurement phase. And like you said, compatibility is key. Making sure new tech plays nicely with your existing systems, especially your security monitoring tools, is step one. You don't want blind spots.
Makes perfect sense. Okay, so we're going tech shopping. What's the first checkpoint? Change management.
First step, change management. Sounds a bit formal, I know, but it's basically quality control for big changes. Bringing in new tech counts as a big change.
Okay.
Often, this means getting approval from a change advisory board, the CAB. Think of them as the gatekeepers, making sure the new tech is planned properly, won't break anything, and importantly, won't introduce new security risks.
Gotcha. So they're the ones asking, are we sure this cool new thing won't unlock the back door for hackers? Sensible. What's next?
Vendor selection. And this is huge. It's definitely not just about finding the cheapest option.
Right. Budget matters, but
you need to dig into the vendor's own security. How seriously do they take it? What's their reputation? Do they comply with the same standards and regulations you need to? It's like checking a builder's references before they work on your house. You need to vet them properly. Ask for their security audit results, their incident response plans.
good point. You want to know they practice what they preach. Okay, next on the list, total cost of ownership, TCO. Sounds like looking beyond the price tag.
Precisely. That initial purchase price, that's just the start. You need to factor in the long-term costs, maintenance, repairs, replacements, even things like energy consumption. A cheap server might end up costing a fortune to keep running. You want to avoid those hidden money pits.
Nobody likes tech buyer's remorse. Okay, risk assessment. This sounds like putting on our security detective hats.
Exactly. Before you integrate anything new, you need to suss out the potential security weaknesses or threats it might introduce. Could be known software flaws, could be how it interacts with your network. You need to find those risks.
And then figure out how to deal with them.
Yes, figure out how to mitigate them before they cause a problem. It's proactive, like checking for fire exits before you need them.
Better than waiting for the alarm. And finally, compliance alignment. Making sure our tech follows the rules.
Absolutely non-negotiable. Security and compliance walk hand in hand. Any new asset, hardware, software, data handling process must comply with relevant laws. Data protection, privacy rules, industry-specific stuff. Messing this up means fines, lawsuits, reputational damage, big headaches.
Right. Can't just install spyware because it seems efficient. Okay, so we've carefully picked and bought our new tech. What happens next?
Now we move into assignment and accounting. Especially if you've got a lot of tech, you absolutely need to know what you have, where it is, and who's using it. It's vital for organization, but also for audits and proving you're compliant.
So this is where Sarah in marketing gets her new laptop, and we write that down somewhere, like keeping library records.
Pretty much. Assignment is allocating the resources, hardware, software licenses, data access to the right people or departments. And accounting, or accountability, means tracking how it's used, maintained, and secured. It's all part of managing the asset effectively and protecting data.
Okay, keeping track sounds crucial. How do we do that without getting overwhelmed?
There are a few key elements. First, the asset register. This is your master inventory list. Everything the organization owns technologically should be in here. Computers, servers, software licenses, routers.
Everything.
Everything procured. Details like location, maybe its value, and crucially, who owns it or is responsible for it. Every new asset needs to go straight into this register. And here's a key point. If you find a device connected to your network that isn't in the register, yeah, that's a huge red flag. It's likely a rogue device, unauthorized, could be harmless, could be malicious, needs investigating immediately.
A rogue device. Sounds dramatic. Okay, so the register is our official tech count. What else helps?
A standard naming convention. Now, stay with me, this might sound dull.
Huh? I'm gracing myself.
But it's surprisingly useful. It's just a consistent way of naming all your assets. Like all servers start with SRV, then the location code, then a number, or laptops get LAP, department, user ID.
Okay.
The key is consistency. Everyone follows the same pattern, and often this name should match the computer's network name, its DNS host name.
Why match the network name?
It just provides another layer of verification, helps with troubleshooting, network mapping. And if you see a device name something totally random, like Bob's SPC, when everything else follows the pattern, LAPFIN123.
It sticks out. Could be another rogue device, or just someone didn't follow the rule.
Exactly. It flags anomalies. Simple but effective. And for folks using Microsoft Active Directory, Microsoft actually has some pretty good guidance on setting these conventions up. We can link to that.
Great. Okay, census taken, names assigned. What about ownership? We don't just get to keep the work laptop forever, right?
Right. In this context, ownership means assigning responsibility. A specific person or team is accountable for that asset's upkeep, security, and proper use. This needs to be documented in the asset register, too.
So the IT department might own the servers, and marketing owns their specific software licenses.
Precisely. And ownership means understanding the security responsibilities that come with it. It also links directly to access control, who's allowed to use or manage the asset.
Got it. Like being assigned a specific project tool, you're responsible for it. Okay, last bit here. Classification. Sorting tech.
Yes, categorizing assets based on their value and sensitivity, usually something like critical, essential, and non-essential.
Why bother sorting them?
It determines the level of support and security they get. If a critical asset, like your main e-commerce server, fails, it's all hands on deck, top priority to fix it. A non-essential internal tool might have a slower response time.
Ah, like hospital triage.
Right.
Life-threatening injuries first.
Exactly. And it dictates security levels, too. That critical server with customer data needs much tougher security controls than, say, a printer in the break room.
Makes total sense.
Okay.
We bought it, assigned it, know how important it is. Now we need to keep an eye on it all.
Absolutely. That's monitoring and asset tracking. This is about having real-time or near real-time visibility. Where are things? How are they being used? What's their security status? It helps you spot risks early and manage everything efficiently.
So how do we do this? Not just walking around with a clipboard, I hope.
Well, for a really small place, maybe a very detailed spreadsheet in your asset register could work initially. But realistically, for most organizations, you need software solutions. It's like upgrading from a paper map to a GPS.
Okay, tell me about these software solutions. Any examples?
Sure. Two well-known ones are IBM Maximo and ServiceNow Asset Management. Maximo is pretty comprehensive. It handles the whole asset lifecycle, planning, maintenance scheduling, inventory compliance. It's used across lots of industries. Can track mobile devices, IoT stuff, the works.
Sounds powerful. What about ServiceNow? Heard that name a lot.
ServiceNow is also very popular, particularly focused on IT assets. It tracks hardware, software, licenses, configurations, location, ownership, all that detail. It often functions as a configuration management database, or CMDB.
CMDB, what's that?
Think of it as the brain map of your IT environment. It knows about all your IT components, servers, databases, applications, network gear, and crucially, how they're all interconnected. Really important for understanding the impact of changes or failures.
Okay, so these systems are like super-powered asset registers.
Yeah.
And I assume the inventory isn't just the physical boxes.
Definitely not. You must include software and licenses, got to ensure you're compliant with licensing agreements. And for every piece of hardware, you need to know what software is on it and that you have the licenses for it.
And where you buy this stuff matters too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Always buy from reputable vendors. Avoid those sketchy third-party marketplaces. You don't want to accidentally install counterfeit software or hardware with hidden backdoors. Major security risk.
Good reminder. So inventory is sorted. You also mentioned enumeration earlier. What's that?
Enumeration is simply giving each asset a unique identifier, like a serial number or an asset tag number. Makes it way easier to track individual items, especially when you have hundreds or thousands of them.
Like giving every sheep in the flock an ear tag.
Exactly like that. And there are various tools for this. Mobile device management, MDM systems can track phones and tablets. For physical gear, you've got barcode scanners reading labels, sometimes QR codes.
Right.
Physical asset tags with serial numbers and barcodes are common. RFID tags are neat. You can scan lots of items quickly with a reader. Even things like GPS trackers, Apple AirTags maybe for some assets. And tools like Microsoft Intune, while mainly for management, help track cloud devices. And Network Mapper, NMAP, is great for discovering devices on your network.
NMAP. I thought that was a hacking tool.
It can be used offensively, yes, but it's also a fantastic tool for network inventory. It finds devices, tells you what services they're running, can even spot potential vulnerabilities, so it helps with both inventory and security assessment.
Wow, lots of ways to tag and track. Okay, fast forward. Our trusty laptop has served its time. It's old, slow, ready for retirement. What now?
That brings us to the final, very important stage. Disposal and decommissioning. This is how you formally remove assets from service and get rid of them properly.
And properly is the key word, I'm guessing.
Absolutely critical. You have to prevent any data left on the device from falling into the wrong hands. Data breaches are costly. Plus, you need to stay compliant with regulations, especially vital for devices that handle sensitive data.
So we can't just toss old hard drives in the bin, or even just wipe them and donate them straight away.
Definitely not just toss them. The first step is sanitization. Securely removing all data so it's completely unrecoverable. That's the goal, making sure no trace remains.
How do we do that? What are the methods?
Several ways. Data wiping, or overwriting, basically writes random data over every part of the disk, maybe multiple times. Secure Erase uses commands built into the drive itself to wipe it clean. For older magnetic hard drives, degaussing uses a powerful magnet to scramble the data.
Okay, so once it's sanitized, then can we donate it?
Potentially, yes. If the device is properly sanitized and still functional, donating it to schools or charities is a great option. Give it a second life.
Nice. But what if the data was super sensitive? Or the device itself is a risk somehow?
In those cases, sanitization might not be enough, or you might just want absolute certainty. Then you move to destruction, physically destroying the asset so it's impossible to use or get data from. These are the ones you definitely don't donate.
Right. How do you destroy tech? Sounds aggressive.
It can be. Common methods include shredding, literally cutting it into tiny pieces, incineration, burning it to ash, pulverization, grinding it into small fragments. You mentioned sledgehammers earlier. Sometimes that's involved. Crushing uses immense force. There's even chemical decomposition for some components, and pulping for paper records.
Wow, pretty thorough. So wipe it or wreck it. Are we done then?
Almost. Certification is often important. If you use a third-party company for disposal or destruction, get documentation from them. Proof that it was done correctly, following standards, covers your basis for compliance.
Good call. Paper trail's always useful. You also mentioned data retention. How does that fit with disposal?
Yeah. It's not disposal itself, but it dictates when you're allowed to dispose of data. Policies and regulations often require you to keep certain data for a specific period.
Like tax records or medical files.
Exactly. U.S. rules might say keep medical data for 6 years, IRS records for 7, UK might be 10 years for medical, even 25 for mental health records. You need to know these rules for your industry and location. Getting rid of data too soon can lead to big fines.
So hold on to it for the required time, then securely dispose of it.
Got it. And a final reminder here about change management again. Yep. Bookends the process. Just like bringing new tech in needs approval via change management, taking old tech out should too. It ensures everything is documented, security isn't compromised during the removal, and inventory records are updated. Smooth transitions in and out.
Okay, let's wrap this up. We've covered the whole journey of secure asset management, from deciding what you need and buying it carefully.
Through assigning it, tracking it, knowing its value.
Keeping tabs on it with monitoring and enumeration.
And finally, the crucial steps of sanitization or destruction when it's time to say goodbye.
It really is a cradle-to-grave process, isn't it? Each step vital for keeping things secure and staying compliant.
Absolutely. It's about that complete life cycle view. Neglect any part, and you could open yourself up to risk.
So, a final thought for everyone listening. Thinking about your own digital devices, maybe that old phone in the drawer or the laptop you replaced last year, What's one security practice from today's dive that maybe you'll pay a bit more attention to now? Or perhaps, looking ahead with the sheer volume of data we all create, how do you think the challenge of securely getting rid of our digital footprint will evolve? Something to ponder. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.